How you doing, guys? My name's Harvey and I'm an apprentice recruitment consultant at a firm in Cheltenham called RE Recruitment. So I've been an apprentice for about 5 or 6 months now, and I was exploring ways in which I can help out people that are like-minded to me who are thinking about maybe pursuing a career in recruitment. I thought, why not stick it on a YouTube channel? So if you're watching this, thank you very much for tuning in. Let's get into my 5 reasons why you should consider recruitment as a career in 2021. So to get the ball rolling, my first point is the diversity involved. There are so many different avenues that you can explore within recruitment because we deliver candidates into every single sector, and that's where specialism comes in. You can specialise in certain industries and you can recruit candidates into certain industries. For example, at RE, we work in commercial settings, we recruit for industrial settings, for transport settings, the list goes on. There are so many different avenues that you can specialise in within this industry. And specialism is key because an excellent recruiter needs to know their market just as much as the next recruiter. It's so competitive, so to have that knowledge is really going to put you at the forefront against the competition. For example, if you're interested in more of a financial background, then you can definitely be recruiting into the financial services. You can also intertwine this with legal recruitment. I wouldn't advise specialising in too much though, because then it becomes sort of a jack of all trades, master of none situation. You're probably gonna look a bit less credible. That's just how it's gonna go. I mean, it's not to say that you can't just pick up as many roles as you want. I just would definitely advise to specialise in a certain niche, because then your knowledge of that market is going to really put you at the forefront against everyone else who's also recruiting in that market. But I think the main advantage here is the amount of choice that there is. If you have a liking for a certain industry, for example, and you really want to work with certain people within that industry, then go for it. There's nothing to stop you from specialising in a certain area. It's so diverse. Any sector needs people, and that's the beauty of this job. So my next reason, and this is quite a cliche one, but it's so true, is the earning potential that's available within this industry. You can make crazy money within recruitment. It's weird. You can make so much money. For an entry-level role, it's crazy how much you can earn. So as soon as you get into a business, you have got a number against your head. You will have targets for billings, and you will be expected to reach them to maintain your keep within that business. How it works, just briefly, with placements is that, for example, and this is how it works with permanent recruitment, I'll do a separate video on temporary just to give you a little bit of a heads up. But how it works with permanent is that you will find a role that needs to be recruited for example, project manager, 40k, that's their starting salary they're offering. So you'd go out and find the best person for that role, pre-screen them, interview them, get them ready, and then put them forward to the client. So just to give you a quick rundown on how placements work, because as I said, it is all about billings. So a 40k quality manager, for example, you will negotiate a certain placement fee percentage with the client. For example, if you were to facilitate that and start working on that role, you might negotiate 15%. So a 15% fee would be £6,000 because it's a 15% percentage of the starting salary proposed. That doesn't include any bonuses, so it would just be the flat base salary. Every recruiter is billed on their placement fees and they have a certain target that they need to hit. It could well be around £6,000. It's quite a common target for most agencies across the UK. So once you've facilitated £6,000 on that month, it could be harder at some point, it could be quite an easy month for you. But once you've facilitated that, anything above that £6,000 becomes profitable. So it really is a role where you take out what you put in. Similar to a estate agency, it is of course a commission role, so you get your commission, sometimes a quarterly bonus, depending on the agency and depending on their package, as well as your flat salary. As I said, with everything being profitable after that £6,000, you could be making serious money if you really put your effort into it. And how it works is that you'd probably take a 10% commission rate of your billing. So let's just put that into perspective. I facilitated a quality manager role that was £40,000 salary. Okay, I negotiated a placement fee of around 15%, that's £6,000 already. Okay, so I've hit my target for that month with just that one role. It's not as easy as that, of course, there's a lot to it. Again, that's a topic for another video. So I facilitated that. Anything after that month becomes profitable. Now imagine I do the same and I facilitate another quality manager and I bill £6,000 again. I negotiate a 15% placement fee. So that becomes profitable to me, and as my commission, I'll most likely take 10% of that billing. So I'll come home with £600 bonus on top of my basic and on top of any quarterly bonuses I might get. So there's a lot of money to be made because you can facilitate as many roles as possible, as many as you can muster in that certain month. There's crazy earning potential. My next point is progression. Within this industry, there's a very clear-cut path in which you can progress through the ranks. Unlike other industries where it might be based on time spent, or just facilitating a role that's, for example in retail it might be a bit harder to get into a role because you're sort of waiting on management to leave. It's a little bit harder in some other industries than it is in recruitment. So in recruitment, as I said, it's a numbers game. You're based on how much you can bill. And a lot of agencies will put in quite a clear progression structure based on your billings. So for example, if you're hitting your targets very consistently, after 6 months, they might consider moving you from recruitment consultant up to senior level. After a couple of years under your belt, if you're looking for a challenge, you might be considered for a recruitment manager role. From there, if you're to head up a team, show your worth that way, you can definitely progress into a director role. A lot of people within recruitment go solo, and they can have their own business, and of course, label themselves as a managing director for that business. So my next point has got to be the transferable skills that are involved within this role. You will learn so much for any future prospects that you might want to explore. A recruiter doesn't just make phone calls. It's a common stereotype that is what a recruiter does for their money and that they don't earn it, right? I might be biased, but I can tell you that that is a load of rubbish. My daily job is to screen candidates, to format CVs, to negotiate salaries, to be a marketeer, to advertise a certain listing. The list goes on. I have to be a key communicator though, that's the main thing. Communication skills are of paramount importance, especially when we're living in such a digital world where a lot of people are quite engrossed in social media. So the ability to communicate is always going to be desirable to any future employers. This is something that a recruiter has to be very strong with. We're communicating every single day with sometimes complete strangers at all different levels. For example, today I might speak to a candidate, but then tomorrow I might speak to a managing director of a very established company. The ability to adapt conversations and talk to lots of different people is always going to be something that's very, very strong and is going to help you in your competition finding a new role. My final point, number 5, is the job satisfaction involved within recruitment. You are really going out of your way to make sure that a role is facilitated for a certain candidate. So it is actually illegal to charge a candidate for services finding them work. So the candidate has to pay no cost whatsoever to a recruiter to use their services. You have the ability to change people's life with a certain role. And there's nothing better than getting off that phone call after telling someone they've got the job, or they've been given an offer, or for example they've got to second interview. There really is a kick out of helping someone out like that. You really are feeling valued in your role because you're really helping people out. Imagine that you have been wanting a certain role for ages, your dream job, and you have found that even though you have the experience, you have the merit, you found it quite inaccessible to get into that field. That's where we come in. And it's the best thing to tell someone that they've landed it. It is a really, really satisfying job. You'll come out of your work sometimes feeling a bit disheartened because it is a roller coaster, but if you are to facilitate that role for someone, there's no better feeling. To hear them on the phone, to hear how excited they are, it is really great. It's something that I would not change about the role whatsoever. So that's going to about do it for my 5 reasons why you should consider recruitment in 2021. That is just scraping the surface. There are so many more reasons, so I might make a part 2. Who knows? I didn't want this video to be too long, but that's just my top 5 reasons so far as to why you should consider that recruitment career. So I'd like to thank you all very much for tuning in today. My first video on the channel. Really appreciate if you guys could hit subscribe, hit the like button, let me know how I'm getting on. Leave a comment if you're a recruiter as well. You've got other reasons that you might want to add to this video to explain, to help people out. I'm all ears. So thank you very much guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.